Hi, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Career Coach Office Hours. It is Friday, May 27th, 2022, and I spend time on Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern taking questions from you folks about job search, hiring, management, leadership, or advice about a particular workplace related issue. If you've got a question for me, put it into chat. I'd be happy to answer it today. And because it's a holiday weekend, I'll go as long as you'd like me to go. Because frankly, I have nothing else on the calendar today. All I'm going to do is relax a little bit. So I'll try and put in some extra effort for you rather than just sit around, be fat, dumb, and happy, or just doing what I do. I'll also remind you to visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us, to schedule time for a free discovery call, a coaching session, to visit my blog, which is more than 12,000 searchable posts that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find work and all the other things that I write about. And I'll also mention to you that at the site, you can order, purchase, or rent my courses. You can also find out and order my books and guides. There's just a lot there that's going to help you. And I'm just going to remind you as well that in addition to doing this live stream, I also have a huge YouTube channel at JobSearchTV.com. It'll take you directly to my channel. It's also available as an app on Amazon. And you can also listen to me in podcast form Monday through Friday. The show is called No BS Job Search Advice Radio. It's available through all the podcasting services, but on Spotify, it's a video podcast. So I hope you can join me at some point on one of those services because they will help you a lot. Now, I start off these shows with a coffee toast. See, coffee. And today's toast, it's an acknowledgement for the people who put their lives at danger in Uvalde, Texas, to try and save children. Maybe some of them didn't do it as quickly as possible. I don't know. I don't know that anyone knows. But I'll just simply say, for those who risk their lives every day, for those who've passed in service to the country, a coffee toast. After all, Memorial Day is on Monday. My podcast won't have a show on Monday. I won't release a video for YouTube that day either. But I'll just simply say we'll be back Tuesday with our normal schedule. Now, let's go to the questions for today. And let me scroll up. Okay. What does it mean in online interviews when it says, please select the country where you're applying for a job? Okay, so I'll just say that what it means is that someone is going to be applying for a job at an international firm, and in doing so, this firm has one applicant tracking system globally. And once you've identified the firm, there's going to be a drop down for available positions that you can narrow it down to and thus apply for that specific job. So what they're trying to do is to narrow the process and bring you to the individual job and location that you're looking for work in. Eventually, they'll get to the point about your legal right to work in that country. But ultimately, this is about an applicant tracking system trying to identify which jobs or what job to offer up to you for you to apply to. That's really it. It's nothing very complicated, right? Next question is, I was offered a job and tried to negotiate salary. HR spoke with the hiring manager and came back with $1 less than the original offer. When I verified, HR said that's what the hiring manager said to do. Why the hell they do that? And I'll just simply say, this hiring manager is attempting to pull a control number. And I would head for the hills because this is going to be someone who's going to try and manipulate, bully, or just think that they're going to close this deal and persuade you to join them by offering you less money. And basically, okay, you're going to keep doing this every hour. I'm going to drop it by another $1. They're being a jerk. Do you want to work for someone who's a jerk? I would simply say to you that the way to respond, if you were planning on accepting this offer at the original price, is tell HR you're prepared to accept at the original price or at the original price plus whatever, and it's up to them. No correct offer. I'm not joining. It's going to be that simple. So your job is to stand up for yourself, but there's a learning piece here. And the learning, I would say, I would flip it to HR and say, is this the way this manager is? Because they didn't present themselves that way to me during interviews. If this is the way they are in the normal workday, please tell me, because I don't want to be associated. So listen, pay attention to what's said and not said about the hiring manager in defense of them by HR, and move on from there. I'll simply say, unless there is a remedy to what the issue is, not just the dollar, but to the overall price point, I'd flee. You obviously tried to negotiate for a higher price, and this person came in with $1 less. They're being a fool. Do you want to work for a fool? Okay. Next question is, if I get an email from an interviewer saying, quote, you should hear from human resources soon, hopefully tomorrow, is that a good sign? Well, it's not a bad sign. It's very rare that someone would do it that way to turn you down. Now, we don't know where you are in the process. You just asked the question, is this a good sign? And to me, it indicates that probably they're going to schedule you back for another interview. To me, that's a good sign, but it doesn't mean you're getting the job. They're just proceeding further in their process. And when they say hopefully tomorrow, great. Hopefully HR is in touch with you tomorrow about scheduling you back. It could also mean hopefully they'll be in touch with you tomorrow because we want to make an offer and get everything signed off between now and then. So that could mean that too. It's rare that someone would do all that to turn you down. So yes, I would suspect it's a good sign. It may be an offer. It's probably another interview. You'll find out. Good luck. The next question is, if I told an interviewer that I would need to give a 2-week notice to my current employer, but then am offered a position to start in only 3 days, how should I handle it? Easy. I have to give 2 weeks notice. That's it. That's all you have to say. And then you listen. Oh, if you could make it here sooner, we'd really love to have you. I don't think you'd want me to walk out in 3 days, and I don't think they want me to either. But I'll simply say I'm prepared to give 2 weeks notice and start on such and such date. And I just want to make sure that I still have an offer if I can start in 2 weeks. Like I told you, I was prepared to do when we first started this process. Put it back on them so that in this way, it's clear you can start in 2 weeks, but not in 3 days. I'm just going to remind you, if you've got a question about job search, hiring, management, leadership, or want advice about a particular workplace issue, put it into chat. I'd be happy to answer your question. Also, visit thebiggamehunter.us to schedule time for a free discovery call, a coaching session, to visit my blog with more than 12,000 searchable posts, find out about my courses that you can rent or buy, or my books and guides as well. Also, subscribe to JobSearchTV.com on YouTube, download it as an app on Amazon, and subscribe to No BS Job Search Advice Radio wherever you listen to podcasts. The podcast is available Monday through Friday, and it comes out with great content. Monday through Thursday, it's fairly short, like usually under 10 minutes. Friday is a longer form interview. So that way, if you don't finish it by the end of the day on Friday, you can do it over the weekend. So again, that's No BS Job Search Advice Radio. And hope you enjoy the podcast. Hope you enjoy the videos. Okay. By the way, the podcast has been on for more than 11 years and more than 2,400. I'm sorry, it's about to hit 2,400 episodes. And the YouTube channel is more than 7,000 videos on it. Catch that, 7,000 videos. Okay. Now, next question is, how do I turn down a second interview? Don't ghost. It's immature to ghost. It's one thing if there's something urgent that keeps you away, but most of the time, a simple text or email that says, I've been thinking about it, and as soon as they see those words, they know you're not going to be interviewing with them. So I've been thinking about it. I don't believe this is a job I would accept. So I wish you well, good luck, and hope to see you at some point in the future. Be gracious, be polite, be courteous. Don't be so rude as to ghost them rather than going on the interview. Okay. Next question is, what does getting a fourth interview mean? Ooh, well, it can mean that they don't know how to make a decision. It's funny, I'm sorry, that was the wrong thing I clicked there. A fourth interview can mean they don't know how to make a decision. Number two is they're stalling for time because they've got someone else earlier in the process. So they keep having you go out on dates while they evaluate this other person. All it means is that they want to keep talking to you. They haven't officially decided you're the one or you're not the one. So they're still trying to figure it out with you and want to continue talking with you until they're ready to make a choice. So you haven't done well enough for them to want to propose marriage to you. You haven't done badly enough that they want to reject you. They're still trying to figure it out. Okay. And now the next question is, I passed the on-site panel interview with Amazon, and then I got an email from them. It said, the role is not available at the moment and they'll be in contact soon. What does it mean? They may have filled that job or the position's on hold, and they'll get in touch with you when there's something else opening up. That's it. That's all it means. Just like literally they've said to you. So, I don't know if you actually passed it. You may think you passed it. Don't know. Let's assume that you did, but they're not prepared to hire you right now. They're stalling for time. And the long and the short of it is they're going to figure out at a later date. A few weeks from now, I would message them and say, hi, this is me. You told me such and such. Just want to see if something else had opened up for me. Stay in touch every 4 to 6 weeks to see if something new opens up. Okay. So the next question is, if your interviewer just cancels the job interview on you, would you try to reschedule? Should you be worried? I wouldn't be worried because, in canceling the interview, they may have been out sick that day, had a last minute lunch they wanted to attend. Whatever it is, they're not prepared to move forward. As a result, would I be worried? No. Would I think that maybe, just maybe, they're not, this job might have been filled already? Certainly, that's a strong possibility. But, the long and the short of it is, I wouldn't worry. I haven't been out talking to anyone or met anyone from the firm yet to be worried about this opportunity. because all it is right now is an opportunity. Okay. Now, I forgot to talk at the top of the show about the job market because I think it's turned the way I thought it might. And the way I thought it might is everything's going to start slowing down and layoffs are going to start to happen. This week, 7,000 tech jobs in the United States were terminated. There are jobs in other fields as well. Like I read a story, I think it was about someone who just joined Klarna a week or two ago and was let go from her HR position. There was another person who joined them who moved to, I want to say LA, might be a different city, but they moved there and decided, and the firm decided, we don't need you, so you're not going to be starting. And they gave her like 2 months severance to find something else. Awful. I'm telling you, keep your resume up to date because when it happens, it's going to happen fast. It's going to happen quickly. And more firms are going to be cutting back on staff over the course of the summer. And you don't want to be cut short. Take a little time in the next couple of days, maybe between now and next Wednesday, update your resume so you have a copy and you can be prepared to roll at a time when you're not freaking out. Okay? So just update your resume. It will help you a lot. Next question. I have an interview on Tuesday. How do I tell my interviewer that I'm willing to learn anything that's required for the job without seeming desperate? The answer is that's assumed. So you don't have to tell them that. They're going to assume that you want to learn new stuff. So you can say to them, this field has a lot I can learn. And so if you need me to take on some new tech or some new fill in the blank, I'm happy to do that. But, that's as much as I would say to them. Next question. How do you interview for a job that you don't want? Well, I don't know the answer to this first question, which is why do you want to interview for a job that you don't want? Weird question. So how do you do it? You pretend you are interested in the job and you go out there and sell yourself hard. You keep pushing and prodding and cajoling and make it seem like you're really interested in this opportunity. You fake it until you can become it so that in this way, they have the idea that you're excited and motivated and interested and all that happy kind of stuff that gives them the idea that you would really be interested in this firm. You appear interested, great eye contact. You do all that sort of stuff that makes them interested. So how do you do it? You fake it. If someone asks me, how can I convince people to buy this product, how do I answer? So let's assume this is an interview situation and they want to get an idea of how well you sell because this is a sales role. The way to do it is to start by saying, I really know nothing about the customer. So I really have to get to know what the customer's pain points, interests are that prompted me to be able to speak with them. So I would start off by saying, well, what I want to know is, what prompted you to take my call? Or what prompted you to reach out to me? What are you looking for in the way of a fill in the blank? And thus be able to understand what it is they really want in something. And that gives you the roadmap for how to sell to them. That's it. Once you have that, you can basically say, ooh, I've got this great pen. Now, it comes in black, but it comes in 27 other colors as well. I really think the black is gorgeous, but you may prefer red, different shades of green and orange. There's so much that we offer, and it writes beautifully. And you sell to them. That's what you do. You sell to them once you understand what the needs of the customer are. And that's really what they're trying to see is if you probe for the needs of the customer, or are you just someone who sees a nail and starts to hammer and does a pitch? Don't just do pitches. Understand what the client wants. Okay. I think I'm going to make this my last question. And that is, let's see now. I have a job interview at company X. Do I have to tell an interviewer that my spouse is already working at the same company? Does the company have a policy against hiring spouses of existing employees? Not sure? Ask your wife to find out. All she has to do, all he has to do is ask the question of their HR department. I was thinking of recommending my husband for a job, my wife for a job. And is there a policy against hiring spouses? Whatever they say gives the answer. Say, you don't have to be involved with this. You can be evaluated on your own merits or a lack thereof and move forward. But the idea is don't do it yourself. Have your wife ask the question so that you get the answer, but you don't have to have dirty hands that affect the way you're being seen. So, hope you found today's show helpful. I'll be back Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern with more. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Hope you enjoyed today's show. And I'll just simply say that what I do is field questions about job search, hiring, management, leadership, and much more. You can send the questions to me through LinkedIn chat before next week's show. You can send them to me during the show by putting them in chat, and this way I'll respond to it. Also, my website has a ton there to help you. Plus, you can find out my courses that you could buy or rent, my books and guides. There's a lot of the website to help you. And lastly, next to last, subscribe to JobSearchTV on YouTube or Amazon, and subscribe to No BS Job Search Advice Radio wherever you listen to podcasts. Finally, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Have a terrific day. And most importantly, be great. Take care.